God has destined us to be is for us to gain knowledge. Those who have the knowledge in a particular area, they come, they teach us, they empower us so that we can know better, so that we can grow in knowledge, grow in wisdom. And basically, that is the reason for this meeting. And like you have seen, we've started with the first edition, the second edition, the third edition, the fourth, fifth, sixth, and today is the seventh edition. And we are looking at the theme today, be repositioned for success. We need to know what success is all about. You know, many a time we believe that success is just money, money, money. No, it goes beyond that, even though that is part of success. But success is the totality of achieving the goals, the purpose for which we have been graciously empowered to come to fulfill. It can be as a family man when we are able to put the best into the family, into the children, into the spouses, and at the end of the day, we receive all the blessings of God. That is success. It can be in the career. It can be as a nation. It can be in the ministry. It can be in any human endeavor. Success, and success is not final. It's a continuous process. Oh, someone was successful yesterday, today is down. No, you need to improve and improve and improve. And like I always say, practice makes improvement. As you continue to practice, you continue to improve. So the topic today is be repositioned for success. And we have invited, as usual, a global speaker who will be sharing with us insights, knowledge on how we can be repositioned for success. I believe strongly that by the grace of God, she has been successful. Of course, it may be difficult for us to talk about it without experiencing it. But like I said, success is continuous. And what we want to learn today is to empower us more. So that in every sphere to make impacts and to. Today, our speaker is known to many of us. She's a teacher, she's a wife, she's an educator, and she has knowledge on wider areas of learning, be touched, be imparted, be empowered by the insights that she'll be sharing with us, by the knowledge, the experience, the technical know-how that she'll be sharing with us. I don't want to waste our time. I know that our global speaker has prepared for almost a month to be a blessing to this global audience today. And I'm persuaded that you will not be disappointed for coming today. May I have the privilege to bring to this platform our speaker today, Mrs. Motolani Lawson-Omidiora, the CEO of Lanilak Group in Canada, to be a blessing to this global audience. Our guest speaker, please can you unmute yourself and give us the best that you have been graciously endowed with. God bless you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I'm going to use this opportunity to say thank you so much for inviting me to this forum. And I'm just going to ask if you could please allow me to share my screen. I think we mentioned that. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Please, can you go ahead and do that?
It says disabled screen sharing. And that's okay. Whilst you're working on it, we can start moving on and then kind of catch up with the screen sharing in a minute. Okay, my name is Motolani, and I believe I know everybody here, so it's good to be here today. And I'm going to start this topic by first of all talking to you about what success actually means. So we've heard about that phrase that says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that's by Lao Tzu. It's a Chinese proverb. And that reminds us about taking action and the importance of taking that action at the right time. And the most important step for us to actually take an action is to actually have that determination that I want to do something. I want to make a difference. It could be in my life, it could be in my family, and it could be, at the end of the day, even in my career. And so we'll be talking about repositioning for success. Now, what is success? Success, as you said before, success is subjective. So success could mean something different to you, and it could mean something different to me. But whatever we talk about, whenever we mention the word success, it comes with the idea of an individual actually getting something. That is, you're making a purpose or a goal to catch something at the end of it. So your outcome could be an achievement. Your outcome could also could be for health. It could be career-wise, or it could be just, a lifestyle or a goal that you plan to achieve. So success is not wealth, as we said before. It's not how much money can I make in life. It's not about society recognition, and definitely not that. It can come in different forms, and it could be satisfaction, recognition from others. It could be, of course, financial gain. And as I said before, it could be a career goal as well. But when we think about it, you and I, it's good for us to be successful. Now, when we think about what success means to us, if you take a minute and say, what does it mean anyway to be successful? Well, in life, there are people that at an age of, say, 90 in the past, they've actually worked towards fitness. And that is their goal. That's what they want to achieve. And if you go into the world records, you will see that there are some people that have actually gained such status as well. And there are people that strive every day for career-wise, that they want to get somewhere. Now, how does that come or factor into my story? Well, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. A few years back, we moved to Canada, and we started life here, and life moved on. And then good job, good house, everything was comfortable. But then that question was, what next? So in life, you might get somewhere and just suddenly say to yourself, what next? What am I going to do? What is this life for? What's next? What's the next step? And this is where many of us sometimes make that mistake, because sometimes we become proactive, and which is good, but sometimes we could be also reactive, and that is not good. Being reactive means that when the problem comes, I will deal with it. When the situation comes, I will deal with it. But being proactive means taking an initiative to anticipate my needs, to anticipate what I might need in the next few years, and to anticipate what opportunities I might want to get. So as an educator, I was working in a daycare, and life moved on, and long hours at work and getting back home and being tired and all that. And then suddenly there was an opportunity that opened. But before that opportunity opened, I started reading a book, and this book was by Steve Harvey. It was actually called Jump. And choosing to actually read this book was just, I saw it at the library and I just picked it up and I said, well, let's read what this guy has to say. In the past, I've also read Repositioning Yourself by T.D. Jakes. And of course, I've been under Pastor Shola Akinyemi's teaching from youth till adulthood. So you can imagine what I've got behind me. And so that day I started reading Jump, and I remember I was in my staff room and I was reading and reading and reading. And then I just looked up and I'm like, what is it? I haven't even reached anywhere in life. And that's when we kind of start asking ourselves, where am I? What stage am I in life? I've got a good job, yes. I've got a good house, yes. I've got everything. But the question is, am I where God wants me to be? Now, I'm putting God first because, as we all know, and I believe you all here, God comes first. The Lord God is the breath that we live, is the hope that we have. And it's very important that we acknowledge that without God, we can be nowhere. So my mindset started to change. My mindset started to change from, being comfortable, being okay in my space, in the little world I've created for myself, and then starting to say to myself, it's time to launch out. Now, this mindset is a mindset of shake off the dust, rise up, sit enthroned, free yourself from all the chains on your neck, and launch out. And that's what you will find in the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 2. The Bible says, shake off your dust, rise up, sit enthroned, Jerusalem, free yourself from the chains on your neck, daughter Zion, now a captive. And that's sometimes what happens in life. We're comfortable with the little things we've set for ourselves. You go to work, you come back home. Are you doing some fitness there? Are you, putting some healthy choices in your lifestyle? So we've turned it into a 9-to-5 kind of a lifestyle, 24/7, and it's just the same thing, same here. A few years ago, or many years ago, when we were back in Italy, Pastor David said, year in, year out. And I will never forget that phrase. Year in, year out, you're still in the same circle, just going round and around and around and around. And that was what happened to me. I was in that same circle. I wasn't going out of the circle, comfortable in my comfort zone, and life went on. Then I decided to jump. So jumping means first I quit my job. Of course, I'm not asking you to quit your job. Please don't do so. I quit my job, and what I did was I got a better job in a different environment. I remember when I got that job, it was actually my husband that sent in all applications for me. He's very good at that. And I got the job and I was like, what? I've been suffering in this daycare for years. And that was exactly what it was. It was just work like an ant, or work like an elephant, eat like an ant kind of a life. And it was very, very, very busy lifestyle. And then over the years, COVID happened. I moved job again. I kept changing, building myself up. I enrolled back in school to pick up a course, which I did over the COVID. And by the way, some people say the COVID period was something bad. I have lots of people that I know that actually say COVID time was a good time for them because it was a time to build. And so building, you can be building on the ground. And that's exactly what I did. I was building, and I'm still building. I'm still enrolled in school. I am studying psychology at the moment, and still out of my comfort zone and pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's what jump means. So I want to talk to you now about the word jump. Jump means that I leave my comfort zone. I am somebody that I am very cautious. Before I jump, I'm going to look at where I'm jumping before I land. So I make sure that when I'm jumping, I am actually into the comfortable space again. But I've learned over the years that sometimes when you jump, you might jump and take an initiative, but as you're landing, there will be challenges at that spot. And you want to be ready. You want to be proactive for that. So seeking opportunities was something I learned to do. I had the opportunity now to, in 2020 actually, I had the opportunity to start my own business. And it started as, a side hustle, and life kept on going and, mixing everything together. But I can say from 2021 that I can say fully in, up to 2023, I've actually cut my 9-to-5 job to half. And my business is actually more in front now. The business, what does it do? The business earns 3 times more than my normal job that I would do. And it just shows you that when you take an initiative, there can be a hope at the end of the line. Now, shake off the dust. And that's what the Bible tells us. Shake off that dust. There is this dust. This dust is the idea that I'm sitting down, I'm comfortable, I am in my space. Or I am halting between 2 opinions. Shall I do this? Shall I do that? There are lots of ideas and suggestions coming. So at the end of the day, as an individual, I am actually sitting down. Instead of being proactive, I start being reactive. That is, as a person, you sit and you're like, okay, what do I do? Okay, when it comes, I will deal with that. When it comes, and before you know it, you become overwhelmed. So it's very important that for us to have a growth mindset, we should shake off the dust. It's time for us to set a goal. It's time for us to create an action plan. It's time for us to start all that. But the first of it all is prayer. When we stand in the gap and we pray and we call on the Lord God Almighty is the one that actually makes the way for us. He's the one that gives us the idea for what to do next. So prayer comes first, call upon the Lord. Next comes the mindset. The mindset is reorient my mind, reorient yourself and kind of say, this is what I want to do, and then move. Unfortunately, I cannot show my screen, but I have it here and it says move. It's time for you to launch out. When you're launching out, you're taking a bold action. Others might consider that, oh, that person has gone crazy. Or they might say, oh, that person is being, a bit strange with their choices. But sometimes bold moves are the ones that make all the difference. So when I started my business, actually, I remember the day I registered it, it was in the midst of COVID. And people will wonder, what are you going to do? You call yourself a business and you're doing a business that you work with people. So Lanilak Group works with youths and adults. And what we do is we do tutoring, which we do, and we also do a driving school. Now, for you to have a driving school, you have 2 people in the car, and COVID restrictions were that you cannot do that, right? But over time, when the restrictions were being taken off, we actually started building more. So during COVID, we could teach online. During COVID, we could simulate, and we could actually use a lot of technology in our teaching. And before you know it, taking bold moves helped to build us up to what we are today. Now, seeking opportunities is very important. Sometimes we might say, well, I'm comfortable in the space where I am. I am very good where I am. Life is good, life goes on. All I need is, just do this. As we said before, success does not mean money. I repeat again. But success also, it's good to have that money. So it's good to seek opportunities. How do you seek opportunities? It depends on what your goal is. Up till today, when I tell people, when I grow up, and I always say it, when I grow up, I wonder what I'm going to do. But I recently, my husband came to me and he showed me a TED talk that talked about being multipotent. And I see that that is something that maybe I have a gift in. That is being able, the ability to do several things. Now, focus to your niche, and from there, take that bold move. I'm not sure what your niche is, but you will definitely know what your niche is. So let's talk about 6 points that are actually for a growth mindset. So number 1, embrace challenges. Instead of avoiding challenges, an opportunity to grow and learn is what we call a challenge. And this was by Dr. Dweck. She wrote the book, The Growth Mindset. And the idea that you're embracing challenges is not that you're looking for trouble, but when you see something, you stand your ground. You set your feet apart and you face it. You're not going to be hiding your head in the ground like an ostrich, but rather you are standing. And what are you standing to do? You're taking it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Number 2, view failure as a learning opportunity. Yes, we can fail. Yes. I remember there was a course I did and I got a C-. And my daughters were laughing their heads out. And they were like, Mom, you got a C-. So this week actually, when I got an A+ in the course, so I went to show them, I'm like, there you go. So celebrate the times when you're successful. And when you have something that's called failure, yes, it hurts, but take it as a learning opportunity. So rather than being, cowering away, take it as a time to reflect on your abilities. And an example of that, we can see that in the Bible. When the children of Israel, after having all the success of Jericho, they were beaten up by the enemy again. And they had to go back and reflect. What's going on here? And that's what failure is. View it as a time to reflect. Number 3, jump. Take the leap of faith to achieve your life of abundance. And that is a statement by Steve Harvey in the book Jump. So make sure you take that leap of faith so that you can achieve that which you're actually gunning for. Number 4, put in effort and lots of hard work. And that's something that I can say I'm very good at. I put a lot of hard work in my business. And that's why I can say today that we are actually successful. And that is put a lot of effort. While some people are fast asleep on a Saturday morning, I am out there pushing it. While, the snow is as high as it is, I am out there pushing it. So you're actually putting effort and lots of work. And that's very important. How can you put effort? As a student, you burn that night candle. You're studying hard. You're actually working for it. As a person, you're praying hard, lots of effort into it. Of course, it's not how much we can do it. It's by the power of God. You understand? The Bible says, not by power, nor by might, but by my spirit, says the Lord. So it's the Lord God that will put the effort into it. But we need to take that initiative. Number 5, actively seek out feedback from others, both positive and negative. Now, who are these others? These others is your team. You need to surround yourself with your mentors. You need to surround yourself with people of like-mindedness. When you're actually launching out to be successful in life, you want to be answerable or accountable to somebody. It could be your pastor. It could be brethren in the church. It could be family members. It could even be your children. So you need to find somebody that can give you a feedback. And the feedback could be both positive and negative. Whichever one it is, it's a time for reflection. Now, feedback helps to promote learning and improvement. Number 6, being open to learning means being open to new ideas and perspectives. So you're ready to learn, you're ready to actually learn new things. So recently I was talking to somebody and in a conversation, and somebody said, you will forget who you were in the past. And that's true. Sometimes in life, we want to humble ourselves to actually forget who we are in status and be ready to learn. We should be ready to sit down and listen. We should be ready to actually go back to that drawing table and re-strategize. And that comes to being open to learning. It helps you to actively seek out opportunities to learn and grow. And that goes with those 6 steps for your growth mindset. Now, my mindset for you today is around small actions, like a little drop of water in the ocean, adds to the water. So if I have a cup and I keep pouring water and water and water and water, by the end of the day, I will have a full cup. Small actions have a significant impact on the direction of our lives, our health, and businesses. So it's important we take a bold step forward. Now, sometimes taking a bold step could be very hard. You know, the wind is blowing in your face, and there you are trudging along. Whatever might be going on, there you are still pushing and forging on. Your team is behind you, supporting you, and I'm very grateful to God for that. I have a beautiful team, starts with my husband, my #1 fan, and then all the other people that support me, my family, my mother, she's my prayer warrior, and many more. And so you can see that taking a bold step forward is not your job alone, but it's for your team. So why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because when you are ready to launch out, you need to sit around with your team. You need to strategize. And that's where many of us heard at the beginning of this year, set your goals. And a few weeks ago in this same program, we heard about write the vision. So whatever that vision might be, sit down and write the vision. Many years ago, if anybody said to me, oh, you will be a business owner, and I will be like, no, thank you. I'll rather stay at work, go to 9 to 5. But now when everybody asks me, what's my plan? I'm like, hey, I'm going into my business. And it's just that idea of search, seek, evaluate what's going to happen, and then you execute finally. When I teach driver education, I always say to the students to use this acronym, and I'm going to say that same acronym to you today, and that is the C method. Now, what does the C method mean? C means, S means search. So what you're looking for, you're searching. In a land that is barren, you're looking. In a land that is fruitful, you're searching. Evaluate, what are my options? You're looking and you're looking around and you're evaluating those options. What can I get from this? What is my reaction to this? What should I do for this? And then finally, take that bold step, execute. So when you're executing, finally, what you're doing is you're going for it. Now, when you're executing as a driver, you're going, right? You've searched, you've evaluated, and now it's time to execute. You cannot stop short. So let's use this idea also when you want to swim. So you're on that diving board. So you've searched, you've evaluated your options. Now it's time to dive. You take that launch. Can you jump back? Anybody wants to answer? You're on the diving board. You want to swim. Can you jump back on the diving board after jumping off the diving board? Anybody?
No.
Exactly. So when you're on the board and you want to take that final launch, there's nothing you can do except to jump for it. When you execute your choice, it is the time for you to swim. It's time for you to go for it. And I pray the Lord God Almighty will help us to make a bold move to reposition for a successful outcome. Thank you very much for listening to me. It's been a pleasure to be here. All done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a powerful shot from our guest speaker today. I believe that we've learned so much from the ideas shared with us. And I believe that we can't remain the same. We cannot just remain the same because of the knowledge that has been shared today. Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. We are hearing you.
Okay. So,
Hello.
as I was saying, we've really been blessed today. And we have learned so much today, especially on how we can reposition ourselves for success. We've learned so much about the step that we need to take, which is action. Action is the ingredient that we need in the journey of success. You know, many a time we have plans on what to do, and we are just like hunters. When the hunters go to the forest to catch a game, the goal, the purpose is to get a game and bring a big antelope back home for the family. And the procedure for getting the game for the farmer is to get ready, is to aim and fire. 3, you get ready, you aim at the antelope, and you fire. And you know, many a times in life, many of us, we are just like the farmer, the hunters. We prepare for the journey. We are ready for the opportunity, for the project, for the career, for the family. And we aim. That's good enough. Many people don't even aim at all. They just keep on procrastinating. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do that. But few people aim as well. They aim, if I do it this way, it will work this way. If I go this way, I can get this thing done. I can achieve this goal. But many are just aiming for many years. They have refused to do the last thing, which is to fire. The antelope in the bush is not going to wait forever for the hunter. The hunter has aimed, is ready, he has aimed at the antelope, but the next thing is to fire. And that is where the action comes in. When you fire, you will get the results. In any case, you have nothing to lose. If you don't take a risk, I was sharing with someone today about taking a risk. And I told the person, I said, look, life is a risk. If you take a risk, you may win, you may lose. But if you don't take a risk, it's even risky because you remain on the same spot. So when we are aiming towards success, some of the things we need to learn is for us to take an action. And our speaker has really touched on this today, and we are very, very grateful. And beyond that, just to add a little thing to it as well, when we take a step, we must be focused. There will be distraction. There will be so many things that will come our way that will not make that success to come to fruitfulness. But we need to be focused. We need to aim towards the goal. Just like my mentor used to say, when you are going on the road, there are many, many, many dogs that will bark at you. If you develop the habit of stoning every dog or barking back at every dog, you will not get your destination. You have to leave those dogs because they are doing what they are created to do. A dog barks. And you're going to have a lot of people, negative thinkers, toxic people. They will come your way from time to time. And the main purpose, the main agenda of these people is to discourage you. Do you think you can do this thing? Are you educated enough? Do you have enough resources? Do you have the knowledge? But you have to get away from those people that will always put you down. And you need to be focused. You need to get across with people that can encourage you, that can enhance you, that can give you the right knowledge, that can tell you you are doing this, but you need to do more. And you have the gifts, you have the power, you have the knowledge, you have the ability. Those are the people that we need to move with if we want to be repositioned for success. Again, we need to leave our comfort zone. The comfort zone is the burial ground of many achievements in life. The comfort zone is the place where all the things work well without much effort. You can get this done, you can get that done. But we need to challenge ourselves to go for new vista, for new achievements, to try new things. Look at our speaker today. She was enjoying herself as a nanny, working from 8 to 5 and having good salary apparently. But she believed that life is much more than this. There is so much that God has graciously given unto me. There are talents and giftings and opportunity waiting for me if I can take the leap, if I can jump out. She left the comfort zone. Of course, it is risky. Sometimes when you jump out, you may jump into the ditch, but that is part of the game. Like my father used to tell me, you don't die when you keep on walking. You may be tired, you may be packed out, but you will never die. And my father used to tell me that what can kill you is laziness, lackadaisical attitude, lack of action, lack of initiative. And when we begin to have that kind of passion, we move, we take action, success, we open the door and we begin to come in. And one of some of the things we need to take away from this meeting today is that we must take action, we must be focused, but not only that, we must love what we do. We must be committed to what we are doing. There must be this love, inner love for what you are doing. It doesn't matter what you are doing. You may be doing a small business in your room, maybe packaging food. If you love it and you work with passion and people can see on you that you love this business, you will make tremendous impact. So you must love what you do. People must show, see it in your face. You must show, enthusiasm about what you are doing. But not only that, if you want to be properly repositioned for success, you must embrace change. The only thing that is permanent in life is change. Life is moving. What used to entice us 10 years ago, now they are immaterial to us. In the next 10 years, in the next 1 decade, there will be new opportunity, business opportunity, career opportunities. So you must be ready for change because the change must come. Whether you are ready for change or you are not ready, the change will meet you there because the only thing that is permanent in life is what? Is change. And when you begin to change, doors will open, opportunity will open. We have learned so much today. We have seen that action is important. We have seen that we must be focused. We have seen that we must not move with negative people, toxic people, people that they can begin to develop, negativity even in the dark. We must move away from them, but we must get good mentors, people that can empower us, people that can bring out the best from us, that can challenge us and tell us that, yes, I remember when I wrote my book, Life Changing Steps to Achieve My Dream, and I was sharing with my mentor, Dr. Shola Akiyemi, and he was telling me, when is your next book coming out? I'm just enjoying the new book out within a month. And he said, in fact, you are even behind the schedule. There must be the second book on the way. And that really empowered me. It energized me. And I began to think it is possible. While I need to do the marketing for this, I need to prepare the second book. By the grace of God, the second book is on its way, and it's going to make very great impact very soon. So if not for that, I would have just relaxed. I'm basking in the glory of, oh, I've written one, but I need to do more. And that's what we are learning today, that as God has given you this level of success, you need to reach out for new level of success. And when you get to the top, to the place where you have the happiness, the joy, and you know that you are successful, you will be happy. You will be happy. Nobody wants to be a failure. Of course, from time to time, failure will come. Battles of life, will come our way. But in all this, we can be rest assured that if we can put together and put to use some of the things we have learned today and many, many other things that we couldn't touch because of time, I believe that we will be definitely repositioned for success. I want to really appreciate every one of you, global audience who have joined us all over the world. I must be very grateful for coming all the time. The last time I couldn't really appreciate many of you, but today I think I really appreciate many of our global audience who have joined us today. I need to appreciate my mentor, Dr. Shola Akiyemi, joining us from Italy. Our guest speaker is from Canada, Mrs. Motolani Lawson. I need to appreciate my sister Kemi from Italy, my brother Tola Fanaye from United Kingdom, my good sister Bume from Italy, my mommy from California, Mommy Buki, we appreciate you. My brother Ernest Ozigbo from Italy, my sister Onasanya from Lagos, Engineer Mayowa Olatubosun from Nigeria. He was the last speaker at the 6th edition. My good sister Atinuke from United States of America, my brother Olakunle Francis from Canada, and many, many more. My good pastor Chidi Ebiri from Scotland. I need to appreciate many of you. My good brother Odi Stephen from Italy, Sister Joy from Italy, Alice, I appreciate you from Italy. I need to appreciate my good sister Yetunde Obembe, my brother Robinson Fidelis from Italy, my good pastor Peter from Italy, my sister Hope from Italy, and our mommy Lawson from Italy. You have really made our day today. I believe that the little time we have spent together has been enriching, has been empowering. But in the next 10 minutes, I want to give my mentor, who is always with us since the beginning, and he has never missed any of this meeting, despite the fact that he has a very tight schedule. But is someone who believes in encouraging you to make impact in life, do something for yourself, empower yourself, and empower your community. And I know that anytime he comes, you just want to listen to him. He has come once, and I believe that he's coming again in person of Dr. Shola Akiyemi to use the next 10 minutes to empower us more. Anytime you always touch on Dr. Shola Akiyemi, Pastor Shola Akiyemi, you always have new insights, new dimension. And I know that even the next 10 minutes that is going to add the icing on the cake to the meeting today, it will be awesome. Thank you, sir. You are welcome, sir.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
It's a pleasure to be here on the platform tonight and repositioning yourself for success. Let me speak a little bit about desire. About success, let's say in finance. Many years ago, things were very tough in the family. But there were 3 things I learned about financial success. Number 1, yearning. Number 2, learning. Number 3, earning. Yearning, burning desire to succeed. I wanted to leave poverty, living from hand to mouth, struggling every time. So I was yearning for financial breakthrough, for financial success. So, and any kind of success, not only finance, but I'm just focusing on finance tonight, yearning, burning desire to succeed. But your yearning should lead you to learning. Success comes as we learn skills as we improve and increase knowledge. So I would say that that is building and developing skills. That's learning. And what did I do? Oh, I bought so many books on finance and I read. I spent, I should think, more than 3,000 pounds to buy a lot of books. Some books were 20 pounds, some were 50 pounds, different books on different aspects of finance. And I bought all those books and I learned about them. And eventually, I started to put them into practice. And I would say that's where your earning begins to come in. And you know, I bought books about 3,000 pounds, knowledge. But I've used that knowledge to make more than 300,000 pounds. You know, some people don't want to buy books. Ah, it's too expensive. What's expensive? 3,000 pounds to buy books, but the knowledge I gained from them, I've used it to make more than 300,000 pounds. The books have been well worth it, and the books are still there. I give to people to read, and I still keep them in my library. So those are three things that, and you can apply it in any area of your life, in your career: yearning, learning, and earning. If you yearn, burning desire to succeed. If you learn, building and developing skills, for sure you will succeed, you will earn. And by the grace of God, that's exactly what has happened in our personal life today. Today, my wife is still working, but really much of what we're earning, we're just using it to help people, using it to help, you know, the underprivileged, you know, support the school, support the church, support this. We are not even really spending that money. If my wife were to stop working today and I'm not receiving any salary, even as a pastor, we will survive. We have quite enough, but it all began from the place of poverty. Remember again, yearning, learning, and earning. Yearning, burning desire to succeed. Learning, building and developing skills. Earning, you have breakthrough and, you know, delightful success. That's all for tonight.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shalaki. It is very encouraging to listen to you. You know, many of your books are with me. There is one I always love to read, Don't Work Forever. That book is awesome. It brings out the creativity in you. So that part of the investment you have made into books, many of us have benefited from them. And I know that many people that have come close to you in life have been empowered, and the testimony continues. And the final shot you have given us today, yearning, learning, and earning. I believe that even if you don't forget, if you don't remember anything, apart from all other wonderful things you have learned today, we will still remember this. On the final note, I want to recognize one of my very good mentor and pastor as well. His name is Richard Chidi Ebere. He's joining us live from Scotland. I remember he sent a video to me about 3-4 years ago. And when he sent the video, I watched it. I said, wow, some things I never knew began to open into my eyes. You know, we are always empowered from time to time. And I believe that one day he will have opportunity to come and speak to us on one important area that we can be empowered and gain very qualitative knowledge. We appreciate you, sir, for all the things you always give us. While I appreciated some people before, we have some people that have not really mentioned. I think my good friend Bayo Emmanuel, he joined us. We appreciate you. My good friend Oluwatade Olayemi, Pastor Mrs. I really appreciate your coming. And I believe that today has been very awesome. Reposition for success. Once again, I want to appreciate our guest speaker today, Motolani, Lawson-Omidiora. You know, someone was asking when the advertisement came out, is she your wife? And I was just like, must everybody be my wife? I said, don't worry, she's our wife. Okay, she's the wife of my junior brother. I believe that they are very, in fact, they were the one that dragged me to Europe because I was enjoying Nigeria. And it's awesome when you always listen to her, very encouraging. And I've learned so much from today, even from the presentation. I believe that today will not be the last time we'll be seeing her. There will be another time when she will be coming back again to be a blessing to the global audience. So Motolani Lawson, we really appreciate your coming to be our guest speaker today. It has been an awesome day, a very powerful day. And I believe that most of the things you have shared with us today, they will remain in our hearts for a very long time to come. Once again, I want to appreciate everybody for coming today to this 7th edition of Life-Changing Global Seminar. It's just an opportunity for us to grow. I know I tell people that we are going to go to places. The Bible tells us that we should not despise the days of little beginning. And I want to encourage you that whatever happens, this seminar will continue. And I'm looking at a day when the global audience will be more than 1 million. That day is coming. I can see the day coming, and it will come if Jesus tarries. Once again, I want to appreciate everyone for coming today. In fact, as we are closing, my good friend from the land of Ethiopia is joining us, Ethiopia or Eritrea. Fikreyos is joining us all the way from Italy. I really appreciate your coming. I am really sure that we have been blessed today. And I believe that when we come the next 2 weeks, on the 38th of this March, for another edition, this 8th edition of this global seminar, all of us will come again and we are going to be blessed. I want you all to just unmute and just say hi to this global conference and just greet our guest speaker. We appreciate you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Pastor
Thank you.
Chidebere, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate
Thank
you.
you, Mrs. Omidiora.
We appreciate you. Busayo Emmanuel. Yes, we appreciate you, Sister Kemi, Ernest Zibo. We appreciate everybody for coming. Have a blessed night. God bless you all.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.